There's no doubt that the world is changing very fast. The old ways are falling apart underneath you. Are you being called right now to something completely new in your life? Are you waiting for stability or certainty before you let yourself take the step to enjoy life? This is a trap. Everything you thought you know you can't do it that way anymore. But at the same time, you don't know where you're heading yet. But your desires in your heart already are there for a reason. Maybe you're feeling called to do something completely different for your life right now, for your career, or you keep hearing that you're supposed to move to a new locale. Today in this video, I am going to dive into the multidimensional nature of reality and what that means for you as you come online with more of your precious gifts and abilities at this time, as the universe steers you closer and closer to the path that is not only in your greatest and highest good, but also the collective consciousness. You are meant to do something really big. Each and every person is a multidimensional being, and reality as we know it is becoming more multidimensional than ever. So, no past, no present, no future. As a culture, historically, we have operated in a very linear fashion of duality, like point A to point B, black or white, right or wrong. But as many more souls are coming online to their higher multidimensional nature and higher consciousness, and you're probably noticing this as like your psychic abilities are getting sharper and sharper. You're more on point than ever. You're able to peer into new and different timelines like you never have before. Like almost like remote viewing capabilities are coming online. Just transcendence of all of these old programs. You're able to hold more things that seem oppositional, but you can see how they're both can be true at the same time in many situations. Like life is getting a lot more multidimensional. Like you can be excited for what's next, but at the same time, feeling through those old fear patterns that are coming up and that reality that's competing against your attention, basically. So those fear patterns are coming up to be cleared of what it is that your life used to be as structures are crumbling and falling. This is actually a very exciting time to be alive on the planet, but at the same time, it can feel extremely disorienting. And a lot of fear is activated because there is so much unknown, so much is up in the air. So, in the past, in an older soup of consciousness, so to speak, I know that people have felt like they had to suffer in some way, like to get to the point of spiritual awareness that you think that's where you need to be, that you have to suffer to get there, or to be in a career that you really love that doesn't drain you, that you have to suffer in some way before you can get to that point. So I want to break this down because that's not fully an absolute truth. It's almost like people think suffering is a rite of passage, but that's an old construct of consciousness, thinking that they just have to go through all of these sufferings in order to, quote, earn their keep. on the space that they take up on the planet. So this means maybe staying at a job that you know is just completely out of alignment for you. You would maybe stay in a relationship that with family just because they're blood family and you felt obligated to despite abusive behaviors or anything like that because you thought that you had lessons or energetic patterns that needed to be untangled. You thought that you needed to be right there enduring all of that, or else your experience isn't worth what you think it is. Does that make sense? Like you might have just accepted that that's the way reality is, but I want to challenge this. I totally get that because I went through the same things. I worked the shit jobs. I continued familial relationships that were one-sided. So I wonder if you can think of it like this. Your soul lessons need to track you, and it's like having a GPS tracking device on you. So kind of like how they tag those wild animals at the national parks to keep track of like where they're going and what they're doing. That's kind of how I see that. Those lessons are going to follow you wherever you go. You can't escape those lessons. You can't run away from those lessons. Wherever you go, that device is attached to you. So you can't escape the lessons. You can't sidestep the lessons and pretend that that's not in your soul to have to learn until you've processed that energy and transcended it fully. I want you to know, though, in this new energy that we are experiencing in the collective consciousness right now in 2025, you are very deeply supported and you are very loved by the divine, by spirit, whatever you want to call it, and you're very deeply supported. You no longer have to suffer in the way that you might have previously thought you just had to in order to grow. Like it's now the time where you can grow and you can learn those lessons much quicker and kind of experience a much faster course to transcendence. Is this making sense? Let me know in the comments because I really want you to be able to understand this because it changes your outlook. Absolutely, you do learn lessons. Like, even if you do endure the things that really aren't aligned, you're still learning soul lessons as you grow and you transcend in these situations. You're gonna do that because that's just who you are. You're gonna find a way to transcend what you need to, whether it's the hard way or the easy way. But wouldn't you want to do it an easier way? You were made to transcend and win and be the best that you could be in this life. You're constantly striving for this. Your guidance system is always leading you to your highest and greatest good at every single moment. It's rearranging things and pushing you towards what's best for you. You no longer need to stay in that old belief system. Those old programs and those old belief systems are crumbling now as we speak. The belief that you just have to suffer in order to grow, that's part of an older belief system. I think right now, for those of us who are doing the work and those have been who have been doing the deep soul work for some time, doing that honest inner work all along. The new energy that's coming into the planet now gives you choice. Yes, absolutely. It is true that these soul lessons you need to learn are going to stay with you until you're able to truly learn those lessons and integrate those lessons and alchemize those lessons with a deep, pure love, an electric love, a high voltage love energy. And everyone watching this right now, I can feel you have that energy within you. You're so supported and you're so loved, and this consciousness is available to you. That's your guide, is that electric feeling of being tuned in and energy flowing and this heavy, beautiful energy. Heavy in a good way. Like it has substance to it, right? Here's the difference though. The world is so much different already than it was just a few years ago. And so you're being asked to really lean into what is it in your life that really makes you feel that electric, high voltage love energy. Where does this love really want to go in your life? Let yourself tap into that flow and be carried by it. Where does that love want to take you? Like if it was a river of energy, where are you being pulled to? Does that make sense? So that means that if you feel like you would do good at starting a new business, helping people, you feel vibrationally allergic to doing the same old things that you have been for years, and you feel trapped at a job, or you feel like you would be better off moving to an entirely new city or state. You want to start a new group, either online or in person, there where you're at, because you see a need for that and you feel called to create that for people. Or you feel like quitting your job to free up your time so you're no longer glued to these old constructs and timelines. I am going to encourage you to do it. Walk towards that. That is what this energy right now is all about. That's what it's asking you to do. If it feels like it's a good idea to drop everything and drive across the country to visit Soul Family, do it. We're now in this whole new wavelength of energy. The light is getting so much stronger, and those old structures and ways of being, ways of doing things are like heavy, heavy weights on your back. It's dead weight. You're being called now more than ever to attune yourself to your own frequency and your own intuition. Now you get to choose that environment that you want to learn those soul lessons in. Yes, you still have to learn those, but maybe you don't have to suffer that much to learn them. Maybe you can throw yourself into where your heart's desire is taking you to go, and then you can learn those lessons as you do that. because that's going to pull all of this stuff up for you to look at, to make that choice. Do I want to toss this old way of thinking or this old energy, or do I want to keep it and stay where I have been? You still have choice. No one or nothing will ever take that away from you. So let me explain this. You have work to do as your human. You could do the same exact work at home, maybe working from home, it feels like the walls are closing in, like you need to get out of the house. That's happened to me before. Or you could do that same work in an office with where there's stale energy, or you could take yourself to the most beautiful park and sit by the river and do your work there. Or you could go to a little cafe or a co-working space. So you still have the same work that you have to get done, but you can pick where do you want to go and do that work at. This is the same way. It can be taken practically, but it's also an analogy. What do you want your surroundings to be like? What people do you want to surround yourself with? What beliefs do you want to surround yourself with? These things really matter. The old way of thinking is that you have to suffer and you have to do X so you can get to Y, but that's the old linear way of thinking. You have to make the money and save up, for example, before taking that jump into the next thing, even though you know it's a line. All of this stuff is rooted in that older construct of reality. So you see a lot of people on the planet at this time that are doing light work and really have been for some time. You have your healers, your light workers, your hypnotherapists, your Reiki masters, shamans. These people are here because they're carving the way for you. You might be one of them. So it's like all of us together who have been doing this energy work and this light work, we have been making these light waves and sending them out into the universe all across the entire planet. And all of this work that everyone has been doing with these light waves or ripples that go out is it goes out through all of time and space, and it's bringing more light in that is snuffing out all of these old shadow pieces and all of these old closed ways of thinking, these old stale ways of thinking and being, the old ways of doing things, the old ways of doing business, the old ways of being in relationships, the old ways of taking care of your health are phasing out. So take advantage of these building block energies. That's what they are. All of these waves of light are building block energies that all of us have been working towards for so long. It's like we all collectively together have been depositing all of these new frequencies, these new building blocks of light, and you get to benefit from that because it's lighting the way for you to create freedom in your own life. It's carving the way for you to move towards something that is your heart's desire and to be fully supported in that. It's for all of us. Take advantage of this because there's no need to go back to the old ways. There's no need for you to stay in the suffering. You were born to be a part of this new evolutionary consciousness. And there's so many people who have been working towards this, and I'm one of them. You're one of them, most likely. Pretty much everyone that I know and work with is one of these people. All of my clients are one of these people, and tons of people I've never even met are all contributing to this, which is so amazing. That's awesome. We're all connected through our energy. There's no separation between one another. My guide showed me an image of these little threads of golden light that energetically tie all of us together in this new energy and this new reality. All of us together are creating a new way forward, a new way of doing, being, having on the planet. We're all experiencing and creating this new experience together. And by you moving into your heart's desire, you're starting to pave the way for who's coming next. Because this is so much bigger than me or you or Jim Bob, right? Like, it's about all of us. So that work has already been started, and a lot of this shit has already been figured out and cleared. I just heard that it's time for you to perhaps forgive yourself and keep doing your light work. Continue building these building blocks and tapping into your divine flow, all of our divine flow, to not let those old guilt and shame patterns dominate anymore. Don't let those patterns keep you stuck thinking that the old way of doing things is all that there is. You've been so focused on the old way, maybe for so long, for so many years, that it's become such an ingrained pattern, such an ingrained pathway in your brain and in your energy field that you aren't even able to really see what's already been built and what pathways have already been opened for you and what is already available to you right now in this very moment. Because in the past, moving towards your dreams was uncharted territory. But now it's not so much. Now a way has already been created. That timeline possibility is already available to you. You just have to walk down the path and line your energy up with that. Like 20 years ago, no, I wouldn't have been able to do what I do now with energy for a living and reach as many people as I do all over the globe to the extent that I do now. But that way was carved, and I stepped into it through the fear, through the unknown, but there was already patterns ready for me to step into. And the seeds being planted, all I had to do was continue to water and grow those seeds. that path has expanded out with my energy and it's grown and now it's gaining a ton of momentum. You don't need to suffer that much. Take this as a shortcut for yourself that whether you think you have to go through all of this suffering or not, and you think whether you think you have to go through this linear path of doing one thing before you can move forward to the next, or you have to wait until this or that is done before you can allow yourself to experience joy, or thinking you have to wait until you achieve this one thing before you're worthy, know that that is you still staying stuck in those old patterns, those old constructs, this old linear consciousness. You're being asked right now to really trust your intuition, trust your guidance, and what lights you up, what lights your heart and soul up, what makes that electric love pulse through your veins and your energy field, what makes your heart sing, so to speak. You are a multidimensional quantum being. That means you are a infinitely powerful creator. You came onto the planet to fully have this wild experience. And you came to grow and expand at an astonishing rate. You came here to shapeshift. You came here to activate all of the magic that you are. Feel that because you already are that. It's that pulsing electric vibration that you are always reaching for because that's going to pull you into that flow. And that does not happen in a linear way. It does not happen in a linear way. If you want to travel to Ecuador, if you want to rent the building to start your new coffee shop, if you want to start your new healing business or get certified to learn something that is going to help you help others, do it. If you in the past felt like you didn't have enough money, your linear mind says, no, you need to stay at this situation and suffer. Before that can happen, and that you need to save the money up, or you need to be in a perfect spot before you can make that move or take that jump, or you need to have all of your ducks in a row before you can move towards your dreams, or you need to be responsible. That's all a part of this old way of being. That's the old consciousness. Those were the constructs, the way that they were back in the 70s and the 80s. It's time to transcend those. As humans, we have evolved past that. And of course, it's of many people's selfish interest that we stay in those old fear constructs and programs and continue to keep believing that. But the new way has been lit, my friend. It's already open and available to you. If you're in full trust with the universe and you express yourself through the universe because you do, and the universe is inside of you at every moment, your universe. There's so many dimensions and layers to that. There's so many dimensions and layers that you can tap into for the solution. The universe is always going to support you if you choose joy first. Choose that joy and choose that electric love energy above everything because that is what is going to expand you. And that's what you came here to do is to expand beyond. Your energy is so much more than any small-minded problem in the 3D reality. So when you sign the paperwork for moving towards your dreams, or you buy the ticket, or you run your credit card, or whatever it is for you, yes, you are going to feel like this tightening or this contraction, but that's a beautiful thing. That is the old fear programs being purged from your energy field. And let me tell you, that is expanding you beyond that fear. Your consciousness is literally stretching and becoming bigger than that fear. You're getting to that quicker because you're walking straight into it. You're someone who wants to experience the fullness of who you really are. So, that being said, if you want to go to Ecuador, go. If you want to start the business, do it. If do it now. You're going to experience the fullness of it so much sooner by feeling that fear and following your heart and moving toward it anyway. If you stay small and you stay dominated by that old fear program and you stay at the job that you know is not for you, you know you're not growing at, you know it's draining your life force, or you stay stuck in a situation that you already know is not a good thing for you, all you're doing is you're prolonging that fear energy coming up and out of you, and that's keeping you stuck. This is where the work that I do with hypnotherapy comes into play, and the work I do with energy. It works so freaking fast because we get right to the root of where that energy is coming from, what it's telling you. We reclaim those aspects of yourself that you really truly are and integrate that back in and apply that to your everyday reality in each moment. So then that fear is no longer going with you everywhere you go. You feel so much lighter. You're so much more magnetic. You face it and you feel it, and then you heal it. You realize that it's not the truth of who you are, and that gives you clarity. That gives you direction, it gives you dimension. So I'm encouraging you to do exactly what your heart is calling you to do. It's more important than ever right now because the reason you have that heart desire is because the presence of Source is wanting to experience whatever that is. That's your heart's desire through you. The Spirit wants it. The Spirit will support you in the having of it, in the creation of that, especially now. So much is up in the air. So do it. Recently, I rented my new office space and it was really, really scary. It brought up so much fear. Am I really making the right decision? Is this responsible? Should I really be doing this in this uncertain of a time on the planet? Those old fear programs came up and tried to hold me back. Am I really going to succeed in building this community in person and online healing center together? Going to work out with the souls I co create it with my wonderful clients. But all of those were just fear programs. And I remembered how deeply supported I was. And I opened myself up to stretch wider than that fear, to let that fear pass through me as I kept following that electric flow of energy telling me this is where you go next. I knew I had to move towards that and jump into it and have the blind trust that, yes, this is what my spirit is guiding me to do. And so my spirit is going to care for me through all of this. And it has. When that stuff came up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much crap coming up that was dormant in my body. So by following your heart's desire, you, who's to say that you don't blow it out of the water? You find the most amazing things by following your heart. It aligns you with the right people, it aligns you with the right opportunities. Like, what if you followed your heart and it freaking did work out and you met the most amazing people that were just perfect for this time on your journey? What if you met someone who's going to change your life? What if you succeeded 100-fold beyond what you could have even hoped for? You'll find the most amazing things that you didn't even know were there for you, things you didn't even know you wanted or needed until now. But you have to take that chance. That's meeting the universe halfway. You can't just sit and meditate all day and do affirmations and expect shit to move. If you can't take the chance, then the universe will be like, well, they're not ready for this. They can't hold it yet. So you're showing the universe, yes, I trust you. Yes, I trust my heart. I trust my spirit. I encouraged a client years ago to go on a trip down to the Florida Keys. And she ended up meeting her soulmate there. They're still together. She met her wife there. And she almost didn't go because her fear was telling her not to go. That stuff happens all the time. Those are the gifts that are waiting for you on the other side of that fear. I could tell you so many more stories like this. It's not really the exception, it's actually like the most probable thing when you actually have your energy aligned in the right place. The universe has got you. I know how scary the illusion can seem. I know how the uncertainty can feel literally sickening, or like you got punched in the gut. Open your heart to what you desire anyway, because you came here to live this life, not sit on the sidelines. All of this depression and feeling stuck is all dormant energy clogged up in density. Your divine higher self knows that you are protected. Your higher self already trusts the universal flow and knows that you can't not be connected to it. It's your human self that wants to question it. It's the human self that doesn't believe it can happen. It's the human self that makes something right or wrong or good or bad. And that's why it's so important to continue centering and grounding yourself on a daily basis. So you remember who you are and you connect with that higher self version every time. This reality here on earth is one of density and duality. So there's always two sides to a coin, and the light and the dark are one. It's all working for us, but it's an illusion in this reality. Like you watched my other video about that reality is a simulation. Think of it like that. If you were in a video game, you would know that the solution is already wired into the game. So you wouldn't be freaking out. Life is literally the same way. Humans are usually so afraid to make those quantum jumps because you know at some level that if you jump from one place all the way over here to a place all the way over here, that all of the stuff in between is going to get dredged up. It's going to get pulled up. All the stuff that was hidden under the surface is going to be there now for you to contend with. And it's not going to be comfortable. Good. Let it come up. Soothe it and love it as it comes up. Thank God it's coming up right now. Because who knows when it would have come up again. And then it would just be there keeping you stuck and keeping you stagnant. Breathe into it and feel it, and then breathe it out. Give it back to the universe to recycle back into unconditional love and pure potentialized energy. That's all of the years of programming that society and your parents and your limiting beliefs told you that you had to be. It's all coming up so you can make that choice to let it go. Feel it and let it go. Then you release that and you feel so much lighter, like a million pounds of weight has just been lifted off of you because it has. You're no longer glued to the timelines that you used to be. And now you are free. It's going to give you so many feelings, so many emotions, but you get to grow more and you are going to be rewarded and reap the benefits of being courageous enough to face that. 9 times out of 10, you will get there faster the moment that you're willing to face the fear and let go of it and let it come up in its wholeness and move towards what you know is going to give you that electric energy. I know it's easier said than done. I've been there. I'm stretched to my limits of consciousness every single day. I'm always being asked to stretch further and to go beyond. That's what my soul signed up here to do. I committed to doing whatever it takes to continue expanding. That's how you grow. So, do you feel like getting out of these linear ways of thinking and getting out of your own way? Do you feel like moving closer to your dreams? Do you see the fallacy in the way of thinking that you have to do this series of things before you can go towards your dreams? That's the lesson I hope drives home from this teaching here today. You don't have to take steps to get there. You're being invited to tap into your multidimensional self who operates in a quantum way. Time is circular here in this realm, it's not linear. I've been shown through hypnotic trance states, through uh, different experiences I've had with spirit, that literally everything coexists simultaneously. Like everything is a now moment, just kind of stacked on top of each other. Like it's everything occurring at once. It's not linear in the way you might think it is. No matter where you jump, you will be cared for, but you have to varying degrees of contrast that will come up through that. Like if you jump all the way over here, that's going to dredge up a lot of fear, but good, get it done quicker because it's going to bring up so much more stuff to transcend than if you would have stayed small in your linear little path. Everything is part of the same, all is one. I truly hope that this helped you. And I really want you to know that you've got this. I fully believe in you. You are an amazing being and you are so supported and loved. I can't wait to hear everything that you have created a month from now. I have a free quantum healing guide that you may love that's on my website at dgtwellness.com. Just click on the download the free training on the home page and go ahead and grab that. You can also sign up for my very, very in-depth 6 month quantum shift training where you get certified to be a quantum healer and hypnotherapist. And I teach you everything that I have learned about transformation with yourself, with clients, with sharing your work into the world up to this point. So it's a very, very powerful training. So feel free to like the video. Feel free to drop in the comments. What are you dealing with right now? How did this land for you? What is the takeaway that you're going to take out into your life? I'd love to hear that. I would love if you liked the video or shared with a friend that you know could hear this message right now. And I'm just sending you so much love. I hope that peace and joy and bliss and alignment and abundance are yours. And we will talk soon. Bye.